In this lesson, we will build finger controls. Before getting started, let's have a look at the character's elbows. So as you can see in between lessons, I added the connection splines. The same way, we added them for the knee controls. So let's make sure we spend the time to do this step, simply because it's helpful for animators, right? To track down these control objects. And with that, we'll get started with the fingers. Let's say we go ahead and clone our left arm control, and we'll start there. This is a great control because it's easy to select from all angles. So this will work out great for our finger solution. What we'll do is go ahead and grab our move gizmo. We'll hold down shift, and let's go ahead and drag out to create a copy. Alright, fantastic. Next, let's say we align this to the thumb. So we're aligning this to the root. We won't create controls for each section of the finger, just the root, and then we can create custom attributes for other areas we'd like to control. That way we keep these very efficient and very clean. Let's go ahead and choose OK. Now we can go ahead and start to resize this object. Let's go ahead and grab all of its points. We'll grab our scale gizmo, and then next let's bring back our model, and we'll start to bring this down so it's closer to the hand. Much better. We'll then go ahead and clone the object again. This time, let's go ahead and use Control V. We'll go ahead and click OK. We'll go ahead and hide our character. And we'll align not to the root of the next chain, but to the second bone down, which is the primary rotation point. We'll give animators control over the metacarpals, but we'll use custom parameters, again, just to make this very efficient. Let's go ahead and choose OK. And now it's time to start bringing down the size of this object. What we'll do is go ahead and first bring back our model, just so we can use that as a point of reference. Fantastic. So with this type of size, we should be able to fit more controls along the bone objects that we'll need to align controls to. Alright, fantastic. So we have just a few more to create, right? Now before we do, let's go ahead and start to create these custom parameters. That way, they'll automatically be added when we start to clone from this object. If you'd like, you can go ahead and hide the character again. But either way, what we'll do is go ahead and start with the thumb. Once that's selected, we'll then go ahead and create an attribute holder. From there, we'll rename it. That's going to be Extra Controls. Sweet. Now, we'll press Alt-1 to access our parameter editor. The first parameter will control the midsection of that finger, and the next will control the end. So we'll just go ahead and name these mid and end. Now after we create mid, let's go ahead and change the from value to -100 before we choose add. This should give animators more than enough room to work with. We're now going to click add, and there we have it. Let's go ahead and create end next. And that'll finish this control. Wonderful. Alright, so now we can go ahead and jump to the index finger. With that selected, we'll go in and create our attribute holder. Let's rename it. So this one's going to have an extra set of attributes. Now, jumping back to the parameter editor. You'll notice that, again, we have another section here that we have to give animators control over. And just to make this clear, it's going to be the pitch and yaw axes of the metacarpal bone. So knowing that, we can go ahead and jump back to our control object, and we'll add properties that will, again, allow us to drive the rotation in those two directions. So that's going to be meta underscore pitch. Let's go ahead and click add. And then meta underscore yaw. Great. From there, we can go ahead and create two more properties for the mid and end sections. And then that'll be it for this control. We can go ahead and clone it down to the other fingers, and then we'll go ahead and clone all of these controls for the right hand. So let's go ahead and finish up. That's going to be mid and then end. Nice. Alright, so once we've done that, we can then go ahead and clone the object. Let's grab our move gizmo. We'll hold down shift and we'll clone this way by simply dragging out. That way we can create more than just one copy. I'll go ahead and set this to 3 and click OK. Nice. So now we can use Alt-A to align to, again, the second bone object of the other chains that we'll have to align controls to. Alright, wonderful. Now once we've done this, we can then go ahead and grab all controls and we'll bring them over to the right hand. So with all 5 selected, we'll hold down shift and we'll drag. Nice. Let's go ahead and bring this over to the right side. Now it's just a matter of aligning these controls. So there's the thumb. Let's go ahead and take care of that first. Great. And then next, the index finger. Then our middle finger, the ring, and finally the pinky. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and grab all of these and we'll recolor them. We'll also rename them. The naming convention is really straightforward. We'll use anim as our prefix, and then we'll use the name of the bone object. So in this case, for the thumb, that will be anim R thumb. So how about this? Since this is a simple step, I'll go ahead and leave the rest of these up to you. Let's go ahead and rename our controls. I'll do that on my end, and I'll pause the video. When I come back, we'll make sure that these get attached to the character's hand, and then we'll go ahead and finish the lesson at that point. And in the following lesson, we'll go ahead and make sure that they'll actually control the orientation of our finger bones. So I'll show you how to do that. But again, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get the rest of these renamed. Alright, so after all controls have been renamed, all we need to do now is link them over to our wrist nub. That way, as we start to pull out our arm control, if we ever run into IK locking, these controls will never separate from the hand. So with them selected, again we'll grab our linking tool, we'll link to the wrist. We can now go ahead and freeze their transforms. Great. And again, watch this. When we grab the arm control, as we start to tug at it, you'll see that when we eventually run into IK locking, when we pull too far, the controls will never separate. Nice. So once we've done that, we'll then want to freeze the transforms of these objects, and that's it for this lesson. Let's go ahead and take care of the right hand. I'll leave that up to you. And in the following lesson, we'll go ahead and start to hook our finger bones to these control objects so that they'll actually start to drive our hand system.